Oh, I shut down. Okay. Hey guys, I'm in the car right now, as you can see, with my dad. Oh, there we go. On the way to the capital city of our country, which I have talked about earlier. We were going to go a few weeks earlier, but now we left today on a Saturday because things came up. It's kind of warm. We left at 4 o'clock this morning and we nearly didn't even get out of our area because we've got very bad roads. Like the problem with the roads here is when they get wet, there's like this dense layer of mud, no, not mud, just earth, and then only the little top layer becomes all wet and slimy, so you slip over them. So our car had quite a bit of trouble to get over that. We did get out though, and now it's 8 o'clock in the morning or something like that. I think it might be a bit later. And yeah, we're well on our way. We're not halfway, nowhere near. We think we might arrive somewhere at 7 o'clock this evening. So that's still gonna take a while. But yeah, I'm keeping myself amused when I even have decent Wi-Fi now and then, so that's nice, and listening to music, having conversations, that kind of thing. So yeah, so basically this was the first, I think, few months that we've been back in our areas since a year, when we left for our home country, and we got stuck there because of, you know, happenings. Yeah, it was good. I already told you about a video, I already made a video when we arrived, which I haven't uploaded yet, but that's telling about how we arrived and how we kind of found the house and stuff like that. But after that a lot of things happened too, so I just thought I'd give you a bit of an update on that. First, of course, the work we do there. The Gospel of Luke is almost finished, complete with the translations, because my dad's been translating it into the dialects of the people there, the Gospel of Luke. But halfway through he had like this computer crash and his entire hard drive was destroyed, which sounds very dramatic, and it was, because he had to start over again. But he actually still had the Gospel of Luke on paper, but he still had, but all the corrections and stuff he'd made on it he had to do over. So that was a bummer. But there were also some other things that came up. For example, now that we've been in our village for about 4 years, well, 3 years if you don't count all the furloughs we've been having, so 3 years, we already know the people quite well. So in the beginning, when people asked for help or money, we never really gave it, because you never know which person actually needs it and which person just wants to have something, you know. But now we're starting to know the people, so we can try to help out a bit more, and we actually did. Not really voluntarily, I guess, but my mom walked across the village and there she saw a malnourished baby, and it just went from there. So first we helped that malnourished baby, then another one, and yeah, basically after a while we're starting to look like the place where all those mums go, you know, when they have babies and little children for help. Don't know whether you have those in your country, we have those in ours. So that was okay, because, you know, a lot of those children really did need help. For example, they weren't being fed properly, or their mother had died and nobody else wanted to feed them, because that's taboo here. So, and that is why my dad had to, that's why my dad and I are leaving for the capital later, because my dad had to go to a different city to get some decent milk for a baby whose mother had died, and here it's taboo to feed other people's babies. So, and the only other type of milk to feed them other than breast milk was a type of milk that is literally 90% sugar. So not even the baker's version, just literally the honest to goodness 90% sugar. So that's obviously very bad for babies. So that's why my dad had to go to a different city and get some decent milk there. And while he was there, he might as well do some shopping. So that's why our trip to the capital was delayed a few weeks. Because, you know, if somebody's already done the shopping, then you might as well not immediately after that go to the capital again. So all that happened, which was of course a bit stressful, because, you know, these babies, you know, they were pretty much, some of them were pretty much dying, so it was kind of stressful to take care of them and stuff like that, especially since the mothers didn't always listen. So then you'd be like, hey, you need to do this, or you need to take care of them in this way, and then they wouldn't do it. So that was a bit annoying, but on the whole, I think all of those babies are actually fine right about now, so that's good. And then after that we had malaria in our village, which isn't a very nice thing to have, because we had the serious version. The version where 1 in 2 people dies if they don't get medicine. So that's very serious. We had quite a few children who came over to our place with malaria, and we had to test them and then give them medicine. And one little girl, she came on my younger brother's 10th birthday, and she was sick, and she was really sick, like foaming at the mouth, almost unconscious, eyes rolling back in her head sick. Which was kind of weird because I've never seen anybody that sick before. So she's actually better now, and the little girl who was 10 who was really sick, she's better now. So we helped quite a few people, so that was good. But the problem is, now that we've helped lots of people and given out the medicine and tests for free, a lot of people are seeing, hey, they're giving out medicine for free. And instead of thinking, well, they're doing that because the people can't pay for it, they think, hey, I'd like something for free. So then, for example, we get lots of old ladies who come to us and say, hey, I'm often dizzy, maybe I could get some milk to help my dizziness, or stuff like that. Or oh, I've got back pain, I think I have malaria, give me some medicine. So we get like at least 10 visitors a day now, and only 2 of those are usually ones that actually need any help. So that's a bit hard, and especially since my mother, isn't a doctor, and my dad isn't either, and my mother is still trying to teach 5 children because we're homeschooling. So with all these and she has to do all the washing for our family because our washing machine's broke, and she has to do the cooking and the cleaning. So she is having a lot of difficulty not being rather rude to these people who come and ask for stuff that they don't really need. But she's also, being very busy and tired at the end of the day. So when we go to the capital, we're gonna buy a washing machine, so at least that will be, less. Yeah, so actually that's basically all around good news, actually, all those people who were healing and stuff. And actually, it's been helping with the work we're doing too, because we've heard lots of people who say, well, you know what, you were talking about Jesus' love, and now you're showing it. And that's also what we tell all the people. We're saying, well, these medicine and these malaria tests are very expensive for you, but, we're going to give them to you for free as long as you do the same thing unto your neighbors, love the Lord your God with all your heart and your neighbor as yourself. So that is very good. One hard thing though is, since we're not doctors, we're not the ones who are supposed to be doing this. Which sounds weird, but I mean, there is a doctor in another village. The problem with him is he doesn't really care about people, he cares about money. So when children come to him with malaria, he doesn't even test them, but he just immediately gives them free, very expensive shots that don't work, and all that kind of malpractice. So basically people are afraid of going to him, because if you tell him, hey, I don't think that what you're doing is decent, then he'll be like, oh, I don't want to help you next time you're sick. And if they do come to him and he treats them, they might actually be worse off in the end, and because they've paid lots of money and they're not better. So we're trying to get him to, actually act like a decent doctor. My dad has been talking to him, and if he doesn't stop, we're gonna go and try to talk to the people in a village, in the hospital where he's from, because it's from some big hospital in a big city somewhere far away. And that's the problem too, because it's so far away, he thinks, well, I can do what I want. So we're trying to get him to realize that, it might be kind of important for him to, act decently. Another hard thing that was connected with this doctor was that we had friends, 2 very good friends. Their names are Doris and Alfonsine, and they're a pastor and his wife from the country we're living in. And they're in a village a bit away from us. And they had a little baby, and he was very cute, and his name was Melchizedek. But the problem was when this baby was born, and my dad and I didn't find this out until later, they forgot to cut the to clip the umbilical cord. So this baby was bleeding out for like 5 hours until finally someone noticed, because people had noticed, but they'd been afraid of telling anybody because, they wanted to keep the peace. So they didn't want to say, hey doctor, you did something wrong. Until 5 hours later, this lady walked in and she was like, hey, this isn't good. and she immediately saw that there was something was wrong, and then she clipped the umbilical cord, and he stopped bleeding. But by this time he had a serious problem in his brains, and when my dad and I came to visit the couple, the baby was, it was kind of weird. He had these weird spasms, and his eyes were rolling back in his head and stuff like that, but we didn't think it was all too serious because we didn't know what had happened. So we were like, well, you know what, if the baby continues to be sick tomorrow, which was my brother's 10th birthday, the one where a little sick girl came, then we'll go to the doctor the day after tomorrow, because you don't really want to go to the doctor on the day of your son's birthday, because my dad would have been the one to go to the doctor, to hospital with him. Because we didn't know what had happened with the umbilical cord. We only heard that story later. So we went away, and after I had held the baby and I'd taken some pictures and that kind of thing. And then the next day it was my brother's birthday, and then we heard that the little baby was dead. So he had died that night. And so basically he died because the doctor was dumb, and the midwife was dumb, and the assistant was dumb, and basically the baby died because they were incompetent. So we were really, my dad mostly was really mad about it, and he gave them a stern talking to. The baby Melchizedek, he had a funeral where his dad immediately told the gospel to people, because lots of people came who wouldn't have come otherwise, because he is very respected, the pastor. So everybody came to the funeral. But that was very sad, so yeah, that was some sad news. But yeah, other than that, we're doing okay. We're starting school again, we're going to the capital now. Probably going to be finally be able to upload my videos and check my social media accounts, because Tumblr, to put a new post, you need like this to load this form on Tumblr, and it just won't load where we live. So I hope I'll be able to do that when we get to the capital. So I think the thing I'm going to be doing is that I'll just, like I said, be scheduling posts and videos, and then once in a few months I'll come and react to all the reactions. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you next time.